I have struggled so much to create this video. A lot of my content, most of it is scripted where I just try to pour my excitement and my passion into words on a page. But with this one, it was difficult. For the latest cinematic experience of the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I just didn't know where to begin. I had just seen The Marvels a week before, and I liked it. But once I saw the Hunger Games, it just completely blew me away. I hadn't felt this much, emotion from a movie in so long that the comic one that I had just seen prior did not hold a candle to it. I was strapped in, I was captivated, I was hooked once again to the franchise that I had once worshipped as an adolescent fat ass in middle school through high school. Let me tell you why The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is probably my favorite movie of the year. I often like to go on about feeling being the true indicator of what makes me love a movie. Specifically, the feeling of compassion, the thing that makes us human deep down. Love, dreams, ambition, inspiration. My Flash video is a perfect example of that. But before I get into the nitty-gritty, I'll feed you what I thought about the movie itself. You know, the typical YouTube video about a movie. From the second it started, I was captivated in my seat. I hadn't read the book, and to be honest, I didn't care for the movie prior. My only thought was, who is this random hot man they are trying to sell us for views? Tom Blythe is awesome though. I only watched it a few days after release because T-Mobile had a deal to go see it. And like many things that come out, I heard bad things about it, so I try to go in with a neutral mindset. I can't help but being little old excitable me, so like I said, as soon as it started, I was glued to my seat. The story of Coriolanus motherfucking Snow when he still had some light in his heart. How would this play out? He has a kind-hearted and endearing cousin in 𝙈𝙀𝙁𝙁𝙁, someone who believes in this young man, supports this man, and wants to see him rise above the capital's influence. I was amazed to find out that these two were cousins. I only remembered her by name and that she was a character in the later stories. 𝙈𝙀𝙁 and Hunter Schafer are the heart of this movie for me, at least partly. Her inclusion is so wholesome to the family dynamic, and I'm so glad she was written this way. As a fan of the original trilogy, I ate every plot point up. The way he's poor, how he had to put up a facade in front of the other students and still came out on top academically, how
he cares about his family and takes many missteps along the way to provide for them.
If you've clicked this video and aren't my friend or family, there's a great chance you've seen the movie. It's split up into 3 parts, and I explain in this video right here how much I love sectioned media. My favorites go in order as we see them. Exhilarating part 1 where I was hooked. Part 2 seeing the bare bone ass Hunger Games take place, and holy moly, part 3, I thought the movie would end at the games. Although I've gotta say it, I found the movie to be more well-rounded on my second watch. I think part 1 was most interesting to me because we see the humanity in Snow. He's pretty damn edgy in part 3, and while he still displays normalcy in part 2, the first act is where he has to build a relationship with Lucy Gray. He's a curious guy, as in I wanted to know more about him, with positive intentions of receiving that darn plinth prize. It's more or less another day in the life before the games start, and I like that. There are elements of a movie that are not dystopian here.
A guy just trying to help a lady survive a battle so that he can secure money to study at the university and improve life for his grandmother and cousin to restore his family name.
Along these intentions, he falls for the girl he wants to survive. That's the movie I got from part 1. Part 2 was just the games. I don't mean to downplay it, but my focus here and what I truly love about this movie isn't about the games. With that being said, I think the other District 12 tribute, Jessup, was annoying. Dude had a bat bite and should have been treated before going in, or Lucy Gray should have identified he would have been a lost cause. I would have died instantly. Lucy Gray was out here dodging attacks like, put me in there, I'm trying to matrix these people, man. Reaper collecting the bodies in front of all the cameras and Coral's final words, it's not fair, it's not fair. I couldn't have killed them all for nothing. That's impactful, man. Reaper could have easily won the games on his physicality, and Crow just did what she had to do. At the end of her life, she just wanted to live like everyone else. I'm skipping some aspects and events of the movie, but I'm saving them for later in the discussion. I think the outcomes of the games, where Corio is sentenced to become a peacekeeper for 20 years, could have been the climactic ending for this movie, and his adjustment into part 3 would be the plot of the second movie. I just thought of that as I was scripting. A lot does happen in the third part and seems totally different than the rest of the movie, but I'm sure everyone could agree on fleshing things out and slowing the pacing down.
In fact, that's what some reviewers said. But I'm here to be an artsy fuck, not review.
Coriolanus went from the woods to the train to becoming established and en route to wealth in the capital very freaking quick. His family gets one last scene just talking about the way he looks. What the hell, man? Tigress is the heart, and she does get one last look at this man and expresses exactly how she feels, calling him by his name and not by the nickname she so lovingly gave him.
𝙎𝙀𝙁 fate passes by very quickly. That is probably the most sad thing about this final arc. Corio's descent into anger and hatred is executed so beautifully well, as he is left alone in the woods in confusion while the music crescendos into horror, where we possibly see the last of his empathy. And maybe I feel for him here. He's so fucked up. Everything is messed up, but I kind of get it.
Where the hell do I start? Right here, this is now my video. I have not loved a character like this in so long. Let's talk about it. I know he's more of an ass in the book, but I am talking about the movie here.
From the beginning, we see Corio and Tigress have nothing. His parents are dead and they live with their grandmother. Even a decade later, as he's about to finish his final year of school, they have very little. There are rats hanging about, the fridge is empty, Tigress makes buttons out of tiles from the wall, and Corio's ribs are poking out. He doesn't seem snobby like the rest of the capital folk, and instead seems respectful, indifferent, and just neutral about the situations going on around him.
His number one supporter is Tigress through thick and thin, while he encounters his first roadblock when the Plinth Prize is no longer awarded to the top academic, but the one who mentors the most beloved tribute.
I love a good rebellious character, and Corio checks this box off as he goes to greet 𝙈𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 upon arrival to the capital. As he goes to bring her food while no one else is thinking as outside the box as he is. Tigress helps him show humanity towards 𝙈𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼, that she would want someone to show her that someone out there still gives a damn about her, and he delivers that. Though you can always question this guy's motives deep down, he's never fully an ass.
And that's what makes him so complicated. And I get where he's coming from. Like when they're in the classroom and he starts proposing ideas, he references 𝙎𝙀𝙁 in a positive light, but also positions himself to be complimented or put on the spotlight by Dr. 𝙍𝙬𝘾. He's being a perfect student, and he's not letting his friend come across as a fool, but let's just keep going.
One of my favorites, if not my favorite scene, is from part 1, where Corio is in the hospital after the arena gets bombed. I haven't read the book, and I know his friendship with 𝙎𝙀𝙁 is debatable, but for better or worse, I'll reference it as follows.
While resting in the hospital, Tigress and 𝙎𝙀𝙁 are there for him while he rests, his cousin and his best friend. The interviews are going on, and 𝙈𝙬𝘾𝙄𝘼 sings a ballad that just might be my #1 song for 2024.
The nurse becomes emotional. Tigress and 𝙎𝙀𝙁 watch her sing in silence while Corio is surveying all of this and tells them, "Thank you for being here." To which 𝙎𝙀𝙁 replies, "It's what friends do." Coriolanus has opened up his heart to those around him in this moment, the night before the games, before shit hits the fan.
I know I said part 1 was my favorite, but the talking points and character development don't stop there.
𝙎𝙀𝙁 enters the arena toward the first night of the games, and Snow is tasked with getting him out of there ASAP. He's bribed with certainty of the Plinth Prize, so he goes in. Snow lies to him that he's there to get him out as a friend. Corio places potential money over the safety of the same boy that calls him a dear friend.
On my third watch, I pointed out his first evil moment, which follows as they escape. Light and dark are battling within him as he tells the tribute chasing them, "I don't want to hurt you." He really meant it. But Bobbin slashes Snow across the back, and in anger he retaliates, beating him twice. And then a third unnecessary hit, when the kid had already fallen, because it made him feel powerful.
His first crack for the poison to seep in. He goes home that night to tell Tigress what had happened, and she tells him, she reminds him, assures him that being evil isn't the only path in life. There is good, and that he can be good. The dark and violent path is not the only way to be a human. There's a train going by.
I want to root for Coriolanus Snow, but he is a selfish character. He makes his fellow classmate, who mentors District 12's tribute Jessup, feel bad about her decision to ultimately finish him off, for his benefit. He's not entirely wrong for that. That man was dead, but this action affected her. There's also the light within him that wants Lucy Gray to live, for she has saved his life and he is falling for her.
Not only does he equip her with poison, but is also the sole reason she lives to win the games. She has conquered his heart.
Which just makes part 3 powerful and tragic to experience.
Snow is sent out to District 12, but no longer with his luscious hair, something I've connected on my third watch that effectively kills off who he used to be. I tried envisioning him behaving as he does in this part with his capital hair, and it's just not the same guy. Even his wardrobe takes a drastic change. They did an excellent job showcasing his difference. He's also removed from the light of his soul, Tigress, the one who could keep an eye on him and ground him every time he came home. Now he's been left to nurture that dark side.
I mistakenly made my way to Reddit, where people were talking about his transition from Corio to Coriolanus to Snow, and I thought it was the most genius thing ever. Someone said that Snow becoming a peacekeeper was the best thing that had happened to him because he was away from all his influences in the capital. I, for the life of me, cannot find it, but I love the conversations and discussions that can spawn from this book/movie. What are they doing here? I'm just on display here in front of them.
𝙎𝙀𝙁 has also come along to District 12, his friend, his fucking boy. Corio is the only reason this boy is there, with the help of his father's money. Something to note, as Snow has made comments on his family's wealth multiple times through the story. 𝙎𝙀𝙁 partakes in empathetic yet treasonous activities that Snow cannot let tarnish his reputation. He believes that by association he will be dragged down, while 𝙎𝙀𝙁 can use money to bob and weave his way out of any situation.
I view Coriolanus Snow's intentions as always leading back to rebuilding his family name, and more importantly, himself. He was dead set on returning to them and proceeding with his District 2 job until the murders.
A car had come by and I went into my car to warm up, and I was gonna shoot the rest of it in there because it's cold, but I really think this shot goes hard. This shit is beautiful out here. But Coriolanus' second crack, shooting the mayor's daughter. God damn, how violent was that? But Coriolanus is cool, calm, and collected as he guides Lucy Gray and 𝙎𝙀𝙁 on how to proceed forward while remaining clean.
But Snow had already recorded a conversation exposing 𝙎𝙀𝙁 and his treasonous acts and sent it to Dr. 𝙍𝙬. So when news broke out that 2 people were dead in the district, there was an idea of who to blame. Coriolanus betrayed his best friend because he thought his father would be able to bail him out. He betrayed his best friend because he wanted to save his own ass and be on good behavior. He betrayed his best friend because he didn't think anything would actually happen to him. That maybe he would just get a slap on the wrist. Maybe his father would be able to bail him out like he had always done before. And my heart breaks for this misstep. 𝙎𝙀𝙁 was hung because of his best friend.
In terms of storytelling and just cinema, another favorite scene of mine is when Coriolanus heads back to the barracks, the bunks, and he goes through 𝙎𝙀𝙁 belongings and finds that he kept a photo of them that was taken before the game started. Best friends, as he put it later.
Maybe there are more fallouts to Coriolanus Snow. Maybe 𝙎𝙀𝙁 death is one of them. But the third and final crack for this boy to finish becoming the man we know, to become one with the poison, is Lucy Gray's betrayal. Earlier on, they promised they could trust each other. So when she questions Snow on who the third person he killed was, and suspects him of lying, she carefully abandons him silently. Much like Bobbin in the arena, he gives her a chance. If something is wrong, we can talk about it. Coriolanus is vulnerable and willing to open up.
She leaves behind a gift that belonged to his mother, and underneath lies a snake. Bitten by it, this dude loses his damn mind.
He feels betrayed by this girl, this woman whom he went to District 12 to see, this woman whom he saved and she saved him, the woman that he opened up his heart to and became vulnerable, especially when he had so many conflicting conversations about good and evil, conversations about humanity.
The music begins to play, conveying his emotions of anger, but he starts to cry and hugs his mother's cloth. We hear sweet music from an orchestra as we see the last bit of humanity leave him.
The anger comes back, frustrated that she has left him alone where he doesn't belong. Was she going to expose how he killed the mayor's daughter? Why did the girl I loved and trusted show me cruelty? Why has she shown me abandonment without reason as the rest of the world has? And for that, I now believe there is no good in humanity.
Coriolanus Snow, before he goes back to the capital, is a character I'm fascinated by. He reminds me of Anakin Skywalker, the golden boy full of promise and potential who teetered on the questionable line of hero and villain, only to turn to his dark side after feeling underappreciated by those around him. Snow and Skywalker represent tragedy, a story showcasing human suffering and sorrow events that befall a main character to invoke a pain on the audience. Anakin is probably my favorite Star Wars character, even though he falls from grace. Coriolanus Snow, in the majority of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is my favorite character, even though he falls from grace.
Oh, gosh, it's worth it. There's something about a tragedy that I just enjoy. The seesaw back and forth between good and bad, hoping he doesn't falter to his negative attributes, but to actually be strong enough to make sense of his life, and watching him do wrong and hoping he doesn't succumb. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is my favorite movie of the year because of this character. At the beginning, or the end, of part 1, I said that I get his turn to evil. I understand it. Corio lost his parents as a child, and as an Academy senior, he has a prize money on lock to better his life alongside his family's.
Misstep number 1. 𝙎𝙀𝙁𝙄𝑾 is anti-games, and the dean who co-created the games also wants them to end, but Corio provides suggestions that will forever change the course of the games and makes them popular. That wasn't your intention, but you were short-term thinking about how to win the plinth prize.
There is no crime in wanting to improve your life. The only tragedy is that your obsession fucked up everybody else's.
Misstep number 2 in 1. Corio wasn't truly pure on saving 𝙎𝙀𝙁 from the arena. The prize money was dangled in his face. He then killed the tribute.
The worst part there is a humanity where you lied and said you were there as a friend. 𝙎𝙀𝙁 trusted you, and all you could think about is money, money, and money.
And how Bobbin didn't listen to Corio. He did give the boy a chance to live. I read an excerpt off the wiki that this was a catalyst for him as they were the 2 kindest mentors. We treated you with respect and decency, and I told you I don't want to hurt you, and you slash at me? To hell with sparing your life. Misstep number 3. Having Jessup's mentor kill him for his personal benefit. This was a death that did not sit well with your classmate, and Lucy Gray was personally affected by this. She watched over that boy ever since getting off the train, but you needed her. And her win. Misstep number 4. Betraying 𝙎𝙀𝙁 so that he wouldn't be potentially killed by association, even though he was the one that comforted and inspired 𝙎𝙀𝙁 to keep living. To make a change for the districts. You had your friend hung to save your ass, and you couldn't do anything about it after you sent in the recording. You even reassured him that you 2 were brothers after the murders happened. Misstep number 5. Lucy Gray left you. By this point, you've been kicked out the Capitol by your dean. You gave your kindness to the tributes only for your death to be on their mind. You've killed a civilian, and your best friend's death is on your hands. You've been open, and you've experienced the darkest of times. You're not one to be vulnerable, and this girl has abandoned you. Dropped your mother's scarf on the wet floor when she promised she'd take good care of it. Potentially planned a snake attack and left you stranded without answers when you were open for conversation. Open for love. Nothing has gone right for you these past few weeks, and you tried your best to be good. But the only thing the world has shown you is that the things we love the most destroy us.
I understand why he chose to close off his humanity. It was deep in his nature. He only flirted with being good. Choosing evil was inevitable through misfortune and disrespect he had received in life. There's another piece of information off the wiki I want to share with you all, and it goes, he had a bad habit of fixating on one thing, thinking that if he could just solve one problem, it would solve his others.
If he could solve the problem of nobody watching the games, maybe he would get the prize money. If he could solve the problem of 𝙎𝙀𝙁 being in the arena, maybe he would get the prize money. If he could help Lucy Gray win the games, even if it meant cheating, maybe he would get the prize money. If he could get 𝙎𝙀𝙁 to stop collaborating with rebels, maybe he could get back to the Capitol in one piece.
I get it. I myself haven't been too fond of people in my life recently. I know it sounds edgy as fuck, but I'm really passionate about creating. And for the past month, I haven't felt appreciated by the people around me whenever I speak on my channel. I feel like I found a higher purpose to create meaningful work. It's pretty funny to say with the low viewer base that I have now, but this is what I want to do. I really love doing this, and if no one around me cares to hear, then I just won't share it. I've been let down by friends around me, and it's such a coincidence that I'm having this existential tide change amidst witnessing this character go evil. I'm not gonna go evil, but right now, the one thing I won't miss is people. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had extreme writer's block and I didn't write part 2 or 3 until I saw it for the 3rd time. And I actually ended up watching the movie a 4th time just to make sure that I didn't miss anything and it was all pristine and perfect. Oh yeah, happy holidays, happy New Year's, all that good stuff. It's funny, this area right here is where I recorded a video that dropped a year ago to the freaking day. December 39th was recorded. I released it on the 31st. It's kind of fitting. That was a sad video, but it was the first one I uploaded after 7 months of nothing. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for listening to why the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is probably my favorite movie of the year. And we're just going to keep going. Big things ahead for 2024. Got the 1,000 subscriber goal. And yeah, thank you. Yo, I forgot to say real quick that this video would not have been what it was if it didn't take so long to make. So it simmered properly and I'm so proud of it. Thank you for watching. Love what you like, my friends. Protect your energy. And cops came by when I finished that last clip. Yo, the cops are after me. Oh, the knees. Oh shit, is this still recording? Holy moly. Oh, never again. Fuck. It's for the shot. This shit's still recording. Fuck. It is. Oh shit.